Memories of working with Brian backstage in 2010.
Bree, maybe you should start this one.
Well, Brian is... It was really cool to start working with Brian, like, in a storyline. He's an amazing wrestler, and everyone knew that. But such a nice guy. And that's really was cool for, like, Nicole and I to see. Like, just to be with someone who's really, like, humble and sweet. And we became really good friends because it was just, like, working. And then with Brian and myself, I just realized, wow, I have so much in common with this guy. And so he and I would talk all the time because we were both, like, the hippies of the group. So it was really cool. And just our storyline was fun, too, because it was like, you could kind of start seeing Nicole and I becoming, snooty and, like, rude. And, like, because even though we were with Brian at the same time, we kind of make fun of him behind his back, And obviously the goal was to get his virginity. So he was our bet. So, it was like a really fun angle, and us knowing that we were going to become heels. It was great working with him. But he was so much fun to work backstage. I remember the slap scene. I slapped him so hard, and afterwards he was like, gosh, the ear. And I was like, and they're like, hey, redo. And I was like, he's like, don't get the ear. And I'm like, so then I smacked him really hard, like down at the chin or something. And he's like, jeez.
She would slap him hard. But it was actually, it was
it.
funny watching these two fall for each other. I was enjoying that very much, all the giddy laughs and stuff like that. But it was funny because before that, Bree and I loved messing with Daniel, and we would when we'd have to plan our entrance, and I knew like at live events he just hated when I'd be all over him. So the minute we get in the ring, I'd be like rubbing his head and giving him big hugs and like kissing on his cheek, and he'd be like, ugh. And I was like, oh, he thinks I'm so annoying.
It was funny because he wanted to on a live event have us like put his hands out, and we like go like get into the ring the certain way.
I hated that.
And entrance. So we get up, and Nicole and I start laughing, and we totally like smush his head, and he's like looking like what is this? And then he's like, why are you guys laughing? We're like, we're not wearing underwear, and he just made us go up like that. And he goes, you guys could have told me that. And we're like, oh, well, you really wanted us to jump up?
It was like Three's Company. Like WWE needed to get like the backstage stuff on us, and like
he made us come out as airplanes one time at 11. He's like, just try it. And, his music, da-na-na-na-na-na. We literally came out as airplanes. And I wanted to kill him. I remember I was like, you know what, that's not cute. Yeah, and it was a total probably rib on us. But it wasn't funny. Like, we were just like, and then he comes out like, and here Nicole and I are airplanes, just going back and forth.
No, I think he like did an airplane.
Oh, he did an airplane too. And you could tell all the crowd was like, what?
They're like, what are the Bella Twins doing?
And in our cute dresses and heels, and we're going back and forth as airplanes.
Horrible.
So he would make us do some ridiculous stuff.
Yes, he would.
Did you hit it off right away with him backstage?
Yeah, I definitely did. But it was funny because we were such good friends, but it was funny because, as
they go to museums together before Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, well, it was funny because then, like,
go get coffee.
In the beginning of our storyline, we had, he asked for my number to, like, he's like, in case I need you. And then it would be funny the things he'd text me. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's just funny when someone starts talking different, you see in their eyes. But I remember the first day I started realizing, like, whoa, I'm falling for this guy. And it was really cool. But he and I really we started dating once our storyline ended. We were very professional, but we were good friends. But once our storyline ended, is when we started dating. And it was fun. It was fun to be on the road with him. And it was, I'm lucky that I found someone really great, especially in the business that we were in. And I definitely think I got the best one of the litter. So he's an amazing guy. So
he is a great guy.
Yeah, and it was cool because I had broken up with my ex, and this was months after. But I always dated these musician and rocker guys, like. And it was really cool to all of a sudden, like, realize, like, someone like Brian, it was someone exactly for me. Like, it was someone who I actually really had a lot in common, so.
For those of the people out there that don't know, you were with the guitarist from Poison, right? And Mr. Big? He was Mr. Big too, right?
Yeah, Richie, his name's Richie Kotzen, that was my ex, so he played guitar for Poison and Mr. Big, and then Stanley Clark. And, we were together for a long time, and it's funny because, like, a lot of you out there know, like, you'll be in a relationship thinking it's the one, and then, it was just our age difference, and what we both wanted in the future just didn't work out, and it was weird to be with someone thinking, like, okay, they're the one, and then all of a sudden it ends. And I'm so happy it did, because now I really did find my perfect mate, like, my perfect match. But he was awesome, and I got to be introduced to a really cool rock and roll crowd, and I was like a little groupie, so it was so fun. I got to go on tour and see all his shows, and he was an amazing guy. Like, he taught me a lot.